Hey everybody, Deathgrip here. Today I wanted to explain why range is so important when selecting your weapon loadout. Now when it comes to weapon loadouts, you want to be able to cover all ranges, those being long, medium, and close range. So, say for example that you're using a soldier. You obviously are going to be wanting to use assault rifles because most of the class's perks are spec'd towards that. Now, to cover your long range, you're going to want to use an AR in the 5120 range category. These will be weapons like the Wraith, Tiger, and the Bundle Bus. And these will help you take out targets at a range of 5 or more tiles. And this is Mist Monster territory. Your medium range category are the ARs of the range stat of 4096. These are your typical ARs like the Siegebreaker, Nocturno, and will be effective up to about 4 tiles. Finally, your close range category are the ARs with a short range stat of 3584. Now these are weapons like the Hydra and the Silent Spectre and the Bobcat, and they're really best when used in under 3 tiles. Now with that said, I'm going to explain my thought process behind selecting a loadout and how I engage targets and how most people that I play with and that I've seen do engage targets on a regular basis. So what I'm going to do is explain using the example of ARs and continuing on with that. And my typical loadout is going to be an elemental weapon to match the opposing element of the husks I'm fighting in the close and mid-range categories. But for long range, I always use the Bundle Bus, since the only things that hang out in long range, as I mentioned, are the Mist Monsters during typical defense and occasionally like lobbers. But the thing about lobbers is you can usually take them out even at that long range with your mid-range AR because they have such low hit points, so it only takes a few bullets. Now for the mid-range category, I always use a Hemlock since it's the best weapon in that range category. I have a Hemlock of each element maxed out for use against whatever elemental enemy I am facing at the time. Excluding LMGs, which are in a bad spot anyways right now, the Hemlock has the highest base mag size of any AR in its range category that I know of, as well as excellent base damage and above average crit stats. Finally, in the close range category, the clear winner here is obviously the Silent Spectre, but other good choices if you don't have multiple Spectres, like in my case, I was unlucky and didn't get very good Spectres. You could use the Bobcat as another elemental close range weapon, or even use a machine pistol like the Riptide, Quickshot, or Thrasher, since they have the same range stat. The Rat-a-tat would be best here, except that it has less range. Just know that. Now, here's how I put all of this into practice when I'm deciding which weapons to focus on. A lot of you watching this might be wondering why I didn't mention the Wraith, the Pain Train, or the Typewriter. So, allow me to explain each one of them. The Wraith falls in the same range category as the Bundle Bus, which is outclassed by the Bundle Bus in every single way here, because remember, long range is Mist Monster territory. Then what about the medium range? Well, that's the Hemlock's domain, and it will beat the Wraith in mag size as well as having a close time to kill, which will allow you to take down more targets without reloading. Then in the close range category, it will lose out to the Spectre due to the Spectre's much faster fire rate. So you won't see the Wraith in my typical loadout, but however you will see it when I'm running a mission that doesn't have like an elemental modifier that makes all the enemies that said element, as the Wraith is my energy mid-range AR. So I don't really use it often except for in those missions where I don't know what element I'm going to be facing. Now the Pain Train is clearly not a long-range AR and falls into the mid-range category, and is again beat by the Hemlock, because in order to have a chance at beating the damage output of the Hemlock, you have to give up that mag size slot on the Pain Train to spec for a 4th damage related perk. The problem with that is that in the long run, you're spending a lot of time reloading, and the Hemlock easily pulls ahead because you're spending less downtime doing reloads and everything like that. The Pain Train will also lose to the Spectre in the close range category for similar reasons as why it lost to the Hemlock. Then lastly, the Typewriter is clearly a close range weapon, and what really holds this weapon back and why I've never really liked it is because it has such a slow fire rate. It doesn't do enough damage per shot to keep up with the Spectre or the Bobcat or even a machine pistol for that matter. So that's reasons why I wouldn't use weapons like that. And hopefully this kind of gave you an idea as to how range plays a role in weapon loadout, as well as a better grasp of where you want to focus your resources, because I see a lot of times people asking, what's better, what gun is best here, there, and the Wraith gets thrown out a lot, the Pain Train gets thrown out a lot. So, I'm just letting you know, based on how I play and how most other players that I see play using assault rifles, these weapons just don't have a place in my loadout. So, hopefully that helped you, and hopefully all that made sense. If you have any thoughts of your own, please leave them down in the comments down below. Thanks.